Welcome to another episode of Shots from the Winchester podcast, where we explore leadership topics from a variety of perspectives. This podcast is brought to you by Greencastle Consulting, your nation's premier strategy execution firm. Fans of the podcast look forward to some new content coming your way in the beginning of the new year, but in the meantime, we're exploring some episodes from last year that we really enjoyed. This was a really fun episode. Mm-hmm. So in the beginning of the year, during spring and summer, we changed the format up a little bit because we were getting into Vetfest. Vetfest is something that we put on here at Greencastle. Comes up pretty much every September now. I think that's where we're kind of landing with it. Vetfest is this massive event that we put on here at Greencastle that is all veteran businesses, and everyone's invited. You don't have to be a veteran to come to Vetfest, but it highlights veteran businesses. And one of the things we wanted to do is take shots from the Winchester on the road and go to some of the vendors that were going to come to Vetfest. So we called this Shots on the Go. One of the first episodes that's really awesome that I really enjoy, Mainline Armory, which is an armory that is a high-tech gun range right down the street right here. Probably one of the biggest ones in the tri-state area. Have you been to it?
I have not, yeah. I was super jealous when the video came out. You guys found a great way to make an excuse to go film at a gun range and shoot a machine gun and call it work. So, yeah, definitely jealous that I was not part of the podcast team just then. So, looking forward to next year.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because I imagine they'll be back. Obviously, Mainline Armory's been here, I guess, the two or 3 years now for Vetfest. They'll be back again next year. But
yeah, if you're listening to this, Mainline, you've been committed to Vetfest. So sorry, can't come out or pull out now.
Absolutely. Yeah. This episode is really cool because Greg Butler, the co-owner of the business, he also owns it with his wife. He gives us a huge tour of the entire facility, which is awesome. You get to learn a lot about what they offer there, some of the styling, because what I didn't know before when I went there was that a lot of style that the place is built around is Revolutionary War.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So especially the room in the back where they have like the tufted lounge chairs and the cigars and everything like that. It's kind of a little drinking space back there. Yeah. All that Civil War inspired, which is really cool. So and they have a lot of like tropes that go out to like veterans and people who've lost their lives overseas and stuff like that, with this huge chandelier that they have over top of their guest lounge area, and it's all these dog tags hanging down, which is amazing. You'll see that in the beginning of the video. Yeah. But definitely one of my favorite videos of the year, and it did really well, which is why this is one of the videos we're going to highlight today. So yeah,
let's dive in.
Let's go.
Hey, so I'm Greg Butler at Mainline Armory, retired Pennsylvania State Trooper, former infantry officer with the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. I'm one of the owners of Mainline Armory. I own this with my wife. We're both veterans. We both served in Iraq together, and we opened up Mainline Armory to service the community. Tying into our veteran background, we have a memorial up here. We call it the Dog Tag Chandelier. It's 5,261 names of the KIAs in Iraq and Afghanistan during these two wars. I wish I could say I thought of it. There's actually one for the Vietnam vets in it's called Above and Beyond in Chicago, I believe, which is 50-some thousand all in one. Ours is a lot smaller, but it's all the KIAs from Iraq and Afghanistan. Wow. The two dog tags hanging, the black one and the green one. The black one's for anyone who died from a condition of the war. The burn pits is kind of like our generation's Agent Orange. Yeah. So anybody who died from lung conditions, cancer, caused from being over in Iraq and Afghanistan. The green is National Mental Health Awareness color. Mm-hmm. That's anybody who unfortunately took their lives because of what happened, their PTSD or whatever. Oh, wow. So everyone's remembered up there. And this is above our waiting area, so I like to, and it's one of the most photographed things in the business, which is awesome because it's keeping them remembered. Every single one of them is individually named. Wow. With the date that date they died, the branch, what country they were in, and the rank. So we actually have a couple Gold Star families that come in every once in a while. Gold Star families shoot for free here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so coming over to here, we have our apparel section. My wife is executive marketing for a major consumer brand, And so she's a brand builder. So we're building the Armory brand.
Oh, that's cool.
And when we go to build like another location, or if we franchise it, it's going to be the Armory. You know, it may not be the Mainline Armory, it might be wherever Armory. But we're building the brand, and we stick with our colors and schemes, and everything's, when you walk through here, nothing's like not on brand.
Right.
You won't see flashy colors that people usually do.
And so you're looking to expand?
Eventually, yeah. Yeah, we're looking to do an outdoor location soon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just finding land around here. It's going to be tough.
Yeah,
and
true.
land where you can actually put one.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so we are looking to expand. This right here is kind of unique to us. It's a women's boutique. It's called the Lady Knox Boutique. So one of the things when I was traveling around the country, getting ideas for like, you know, what worked, what didn't work, a lot of people said they catered to women, but then all the women's stuff was like in the corner. And it had dust on it, and it was like leopard print and stuff that guys thought women wanted, right? So everything in here my wife picked out, or my female instructors or female customers. These are all practical, nice, classy things. Those are leggings with belt loops, because women don't traditionally wear a belt to carry concealed. Holster, bra, belly band. And then all these purses are concealed carry purses, which have like a pass-through or a holster that velcros in it. And then we have all, like, you know, of course we have some floral holsters, and the SIG Rose is actually really big. SIG, what they did for women in the firearm industry and is unmatched. They realized women are 50% of the country,
right?
But they were like a small portion of the firearm industry. So they catered to them with this Rose program, where if you scan the QR code, you get taken to like the Rose community. And it's all women supporting women. So women are such a small percentage of the firearm industry, but they're the ones who need the firearms the most, right? I mean, you know, God created man, Sam Colt made man equal. You know, it's the great equalizer. But we dedicated this to Lady Knox. Lady Knox was General Knox's wife, who was a revolutionary. Everything's Revolutionary War themed here. He was a Revolutionary War general, and when they came down from Boston to Valley Forge, she actually took his sidearm and sewed it into her dress.
Wow.
And there's actually a record of that. So essentially, she was the first concealed carry American in history on record.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. But she also took care of the soldiers and all. But anywhere we have a piece of history, like we like to share the history, we have a plaque that explains it all.
That's cool.
Yeah, because in this area, people love, if people aren't familiar with the main line, this is like, it's named after the main train line that came out of Philadelphia to Westchester. And the wealthy people in Philadelphia would buy land outside the city off that main line. And that's where the wealth grew. And it's one of the wealthiest couple miles in the country.
Yeah.
But they love their history. They love to keep everything, because we're right near Valley Forge.
Yeah.
We probably are standing right where someone a Revolutionary War soldier walked through to get to Valley Forge. So it's kind of, we're tying in that history.
That's really cool.
In our retail area, everything here is practical. There's no tchotchkes, no get better at shooting quick, or just, buy this because our name's on it type of thing.
Right.
Everything's here to train, sustain, and maintain your firearms.
Nice.
Up on the wall, we have a limited amount. I mean, we can only carry so many guns because we actually we secure our firearms to the wall.
Yeah.
These are all mounted and with cables through them, so you have to actually destroy the firearm or actually cut into some of this metal to take these firearms off.
Yeah.
But they're all secured so that we can keep them in overnight.
Yeah.
We used to have a replica of the brown Bess. And from what I hear from some revolutionary enthusiasts, it's not a good one, but people love it. They can go take a picture with it out by the cannon. So, but then we have plenty of pistols, concealed carry, home defense.
Nice.
You get your fun guns every once in a while, but we don't usually stock too many of them. I mean, like some of these aren't practical concealed carry, but they are definitely fun guns.
Yeah.
We're exclusive with a lot of optic dealers.
Nice.
Trijicon, Aimpoint, Sig Sauer. These are like the new, like everyone's getting optics now.
Right.
And the advantage of optics are you can shoot both eyes open, quicker acquisition, target acquisition. And a lot of people, and I'm finding this out, there's so many people that are cross-eye dominant. Meaning they're left-handed, they are right-eye dominant, or they're right-handed, left-eye dominant.
Interesting.
And I met maybe before I was in this, I met maybe one person like that.
Right.
I meet them all the time. And they benefit from this. People with different prescriptions in their eyes benefit off of this.
Oh, okay. So that's a good look.
That's the new that's the new thing that everyone's getting. Every gun's coming ready for red dots too.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We're a Benchmade dealer. It's a big name in knives, big following.
Yeah.
And we're an NFA dealer. NFA meaning suppressors, short barrel rifles, stuff that you need a stamp or a tax stamp for. Cool thing about buying with us though is if you buy a can or a short barrel rifle, we put it in jail for until you get your stamp back from the ATF. So it could be a couple months, but you're allowed to have conjugal visits. So you can come in and say, hey, I want to shoot my can. We'll go in the back, get it. You go take it in, shoot, give it back to us, and we put it away, as long as it doesn't leave the premise.
Right.
So, which is big because a lot of stores can't do that. So you'll pay for a suppressor and then you get it 4 months later. You know?
Right.
So that's a nice offering. We're going into Heroes Hall.
Okay.
Heroes Hall is dedicated to former, past, decedents, and even active law enforcement and military. We have all of our flags from right to left in order of precedent. The Army was first established, then Marine Corps, and so on. We have our Palmilla table over here with explanation as to everything that's on the plate or on the table. A lot of people don't know that everything on a Palmilla table represents something.
Right.
And so we like to educate everybody. The Gatling gun you were just looking at, that's actually a firing Gatling gun. Takes Glock 9 mag.
That's like 1800s look, right?
Well, it's a modern rendering of it.
Okay.
So this takes Glock mags. And you can actually shoot it.
Oh, that's crazy. So you guys actually put this into...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like you just crank.
Oh,
and
that's so much fun.
People love that more than a full auto AR. Like, I have some pretty cool guns that you can rent, but they love that. This room is dedicated to Trooper Kedra. He was a trooper that worked at the same troop that I worked in when I was a state trooper.
Yeah.
He was killed by a firearms instructor.
Oh, wow.
Negligently. And it was young kid, I think he was on the job for maybe a year. Shot once through the chest and he died even before serving a long career. So I dedicate it to him because to show like even the most trained instructors have to stay diligent with firearms. Like we're here to teach firearm safety and be responsible gun owners. That's just part of that's the big goal. The sales and everything else that comes with it. Yeah. The second classroom named after, I was telling you before, it's named after Travis Mannion. Travis was a Marine. He was a Mainline kid. Yeah. But he was a Marine, Annapolis grad. His dad was a colonel. I actually went to college with his sister, who's actually the CEO of Travis Mannion Foundation, Ryan Mannion. Nice. And I dedicate to him because they have the motto, if not me, then who? And it's really, it's impactful. But really, like if I didn't build a place to train, like who would? Right. Everyone else is out to make a buck. I'm here. This is what I'm passionate about, the Mainline Armory Training Academy. Yeah. I have more training than any range in the area because we're trying to build responsible gun owners and safe firearm handling.
That's awesome.
So that rings true to us, and we bend over backwards for them. Willingly, because we want to be real tight with Travis Mannion Foundation. Yeah. Over here we have lockers that people can store their range bag in and any items that's rented out to members. Nice. This is also the Wall of Honor. These are all members or employees that have served or are currently serving in law enforcement or military.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So they're all like there's some employees up here. We got some members up in the corner there. Yeah. But everyone that's served up on that wall.
I love that attention that you give to the history and to just the honoring the people. That's really cool.
Yeah, because it's one thing to say never forget. It's another thing to do it.
Truth.
Yeah,
so absolutely.
I always want to remember our fallen brothers and sisters.
Now
and we're about to go into the Valley Forge Lounge. So this is for Premier and VIP members only. It's a place where people just come and relax after.
Now this place is just absolutely phenomenal.
Smoke cigars. We do have a BYOB policy where we will actually lock you out. If you're done shooting, you let us know. You're going to consume some alcohol. We lock you out for a calendar day.
Nice.
And there's a lot of business that gets conducted on these Chesterfields where people are just smoking cigars and.
Like, look at this place, and the inspiration behind the decor here. What was that?
It's really like Revolutionary War, mainline, rustic / contemporary, like updated rustic, I guess you could say. You go around the main line, it's lots of golds and blacks and nice finishings. That's just how the main line is. So these trusses were actually made from barn beams out of Lancaster. You can actually see the notches in the wood still. They weren't originally trusses. We had to cut it and make the gussets and all that. But that's real wood from Lancaster.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have like the kitchen area back here. Our members get complimentary coffee, snacks, water, soft drinks. There's wine glasses, whiskey glasses, big cubes of ice in the fridge.
Nice.
Totally self-service, for all of our members to enjoy. Little piece of history over here. I'm kind of partial to Ben Franklin as a founding father. I was the unit that I served in was Alpha Company, 1st to 111th. We were called the Associators. We actually have lineage back to Ben Franklin. The Associators were the name that he gave the militia in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia because the Quakers didn't want a militia back then. So he said, all right, well, I'll start an association of men. So that unit has lineage all the way to the Alpha Company, the Philadelphia 1st 111th unit, which I commanded. In a roundabout way, he commanded the 111th, the Associators, and I command the same unit. So we're kind of like, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. But the reason why, the other thing I have dedicated here is this was actually our battalion flag.
Oh, wow, nice.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's called the Serapis flag or the Franklin flag, okay?
Okay.
That was actually our first recognized flag of the United States of America. It wasn't the Betsy Ross. That was the first one adopted after the Constitution. This was the first recognized. And the way it was, John Paul Jones, the Navy captain, wreaking havoc on the seas, all the British. Well, he commandeered this ship called the Serapis, and he was attacking all the British ships. But all the French and Dutch, all them were saying to Franklin, like, hey, we need to know your colors so that we don't attack him thinking he's a pirate or something else.
Right.
So Ben Franklin wrote in a letter, hey, 13 red, white, and blue stripes, 8-pointed star to be flown. And that was recognized by all the other countries, naval warfare wise, that was the United States of America or the colonies. So that was actually recognized nationally before even the Betsy Ross flag.
Nice. This is awesome. I came here thinking, okay, we're going to talk about guns.
Yeah.
There's so much history here. That's so awesome.
We love bringing that in, and the customers love it. The members love it.
Yeah.
It's really cool to like watch them tell their guests and like show them around all the stuff. Yeah. And that's what we want. It's kind of like Disney World. Like you have little hidden things. Like we have keystones all over the place. So the bloody buckets up there, and then we have them all over. And I'll show you like
right there.
They'll be all throughout.
Yeah.
But one, we're the Keystone State, but two, that was our division patch, the bloody bucket.
Nice.
So, that's hidden all throughout. We like that, just to have that little touch.
That's so cool.
This is the Washington Bay. So this is the Bay exclusive for VIP members, VIP and corporate, like Greencastle.
Yeah.
That's the flag right there is actually the reason why I actually got that. I didn't even think about it till a few months ago. That's Washington's headquarter flag. And so I'm doing an addition here. We're going to build a room of vaults where you can rent it. And our entrance, we're going to redo our entrance. And I took a lot of inspiration from Washington's Chapel in Valley Forge. And in Valley Forge, they have his headquarter flag flown in the chapel.
That's
so
cool.
I marked that because it's the Washington Bay.
Yeah.
So come on in here. So this is VIP members only. Watch your back there. I don't want to knock George over.
Oh, yeah.
So this is 5 lanes just for VIPs. We do have like corporate events and rentals that we can rent this out. It's the higher scale of all the ranges we have, but being Washington's Bay, can you guess what kind of wood this is?
Cherry wood?
Yeah, you chop down the cherry tree, man. Yeah, so cherry wood.
Just checking that color.
Yeah,
I was like, oh.
So, you know, just another little fun fact.
Yeah.
But
and this
yeah,
is,
come on in here.
This is really cool.
So this
wow.
is
it's like lit up on the floors here too.
Yep.
This is really cool.
Now, the cool thing about ours, most retrievers, they just have either toggles, and if it is a touch screen, it's just distances.
Right.
But we have one of like the more upscale range systems. We have, you can set all the distances here. You can even do scenarios at different yardage. At 5 yards, you could do 3 turning targets, so many seconds.
What?
Because all of our targets, if you watch the T, you hit that silhouette, it turns twice. Okay?
Gotcha.
So if you can hit that silhouette, it will turn like for 3 seconds, then it will turn again, and then turn back. So you can, and what's one thing is we allow drawing from the holsters. I'll explain how we mitigate that.
Oh, that's so awesome.
You can have a target light if you need to, if you're zeroing in down range.
Nice.
We have red and blue lights, which kind of comes in fun when we do a zombie night and stuff like that. We dim everything. And then we have a shop button. So the shop button, you hit that. If you're a member or if you have your card on file, you could type in the phone number and you can order ammo from the lane, order ammo and targets.
What?
So you don't have to walk all the way out front and leave your stuff. You can order it, keep going shooting, we'll bring it out to you.
This is so high tech.
Yeah, we're the only ones that have that in the industry right now. Most places will just like have the RSO radio up. Our RSOs are watching the lanes. They're not there to run ammo for customers.
Yeah.
But talking about safety, these tags, and you'll see them in the other bays, they are, one of the things that we do is a lot of ranges like we'll go, all right, you're on lane 20, here's your tag. And you walk in, hang your tag up, the RSO knows that you're in lane 20. What we did is we put 3 color codes. So there's 3 tags for each lane, red, yellow, green.
Nice.
Red are new to the range or new shooters. Yellow are people who've like been here 12 times, members, people who've taken class, showed some proficiency. And then green is you went through our draw certification or a 200 level class.
Wow.
So when you have the green card up, you can draw from the holster, okay? Which is, not a lot of ranges do that because they just don't want to risk it.
Right.
If you mitigate it, if you do the right thing and train them and all, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
And knock on wood, we haven't had a problem.
Yeah.
But that lets my RSO know, like, all right, well, I have all reds. I'm going to stay down towards the reds when the greens are okay. It lets them focus on the least safety, prone ones, or the least safe ones. But it also lets them know, like, lets the customers know, like, when you walk in and you see all red tags, you're not going to leave this stall.
Right.
Because inside my walls here is AR-500 steel all the way around.
Oh, wow.
Anything I allow to shoot in here won't penetrate through this wall. So you're safe in here.
Oh, gotcha.
But if you see yellows and greens, you might, oh, whoa, what are you shooting over there? And one of the things that's really cool about this is like the community that's getting built here. I love it because there's members who like sit in the lounge and they're not like someone sitting over there and they're like, oh, I'm gonna sit over here. No, they sit next to them and start striking up a conversation, and then they're like shooting buddies all of a sudden.
Yeah.
A couple of things about the way this is set up. We're a fresh air system. So you notice like a lot of ranges usually have like a big sock on the back that lets the air flow in. Mine's a huge one up in the ceiling, and it completely rushes down with fresh air. So the fresh air gets sucked down the range at 75 feet per minute, gets filtered out, and then pushes the fresh air getting sucked back in from the roof, okay?
Wow.
But the way, if you notice that the stalls are angled like this, it allows a little more room for like a friend to be in there with you.
Yeah.
But what it does is at the point of, where the firearms are, the firing line, it creates pressure. So it just wafts it. Like if you see like a full auto shooting here, it just like sucks all the air, all the smoke down.
Wow.
But and then it opens up after. If you notice, it kind of branches out.
Yeah.
What that does is it sends some of the reverb at different angles. Okay. So there's a lot, like by having the angled walls, a lot of the reverb gets canceled out and sent away, and the person doesn't feel it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, wow, this range is so much quieter, and it's not quieter. You're just not feeling the reverb that like pounds on you in a straight wall. Yeah. Because if you have straight stall walls, it's just like
that reverb just bounces right back at you.
Like a big percussion.
Yeah, just like an audio production. It's like if you don't have those angles in the walls, that's pretty...
that takes off. I think it's like a 30% noise reduction. They did a study.
Wow.
And I'll give a shout out. It's Rushing Ranges. They're phenomenal. But
it's interesting. On the way in, noticing the building on the way in.
You can't hear anything. Can't hear anything from outside.
No, we poured, this is 8 inches thick concrete with concrete lids. That was one of the things that I knew going into. I didn't want to bother the neighbors. I didn't want anybody to be upset with the sound and all that.
Right.
But it was designed like that to just be as quiet as possible. I mean, you don't want to be working out in the retail space popping the whole time.
Yeah.
But no, noise reduction is definitely something that we took into consideration.
Wow, this is amazing. The technology that you've put into the place, the thought of the history, the dedications, everything is so well thought out.
Thank you. Do you want to do this in the lounge?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I was gonna say.
That's how it goes when you're on the go. We'll be right back after this.
We created Vetfest as a way to bring together not only veteran organizations that have food or vendors, but also the service organizations that serve the veteran community, as well as people that just are veteran supporters.
This is our first year at Vetfest. We jumped at the opportunity. We love supporting veterans. I'm a veteran.
There are so many vendors, participants, veterans.
I had no idea just how big it is. There are so many vendors out here, so much fun. I'm loving the live music.
So today we have some of our tadpole obstacles set up. That's our kids course. We brought out everything from walls to carries, crawls. We have a rope swing.
Great to be at Vetfest. I'm a veteran myself of the United States Navy.
This is Team Foster's second time at Vetfest. Super excited to be out here. Lots of amazing vendors, great energy, fantastic people.
This year, the thing that I enjoy the most is just to see the success of all the different vendors and the excitement that they're having about being here, potentially coming back next year, and even adding to this, adding more vendors and adding more veteran-owned organizations that can just, raise the awareness of what veterans are capable of.
Now back to Shots on the Go.
Thank you, first of all, for your time here.
Thank you, man.
Just the tour that you just gave us is, I'm absolutely amazed by the history, the amount of attention to detail that you put into it, even just with the way the air flows inside the range, which is like just well thought out. All of that, the technology, everything. What is your goal with Mainline Armory?
So I didn't get into this business to make money. Obviously I want to make money.
Yeah.
But I served in the military, 14 years in the National Guard. I served as a state trooper for 13 years. Like, I had that call of service majority of my adult life.
Yeah. And
this is just my way of, after the service, after law enforcement, to serve my community again. I saw that, when COVID hit, 2020, the riots, all that, and the firearm industry went berserk. People were buying guns and they weren't training on them.
Yeah.
And it's like there's always this saying that people just throw around easily, like, a good guy with a gun's better with a bad guy with a gun.
Yeah.
Like, that's not necessarily always true.
Right.
Some good guys can't shoot,
It's true.
And it's like,
Yeah.
the problem is, like, they might have the good intentions, but if they're not training the firearm safety rules, like knowing what's beyond their target, knowing if their bullets will penetrate a body, stuff like that, like, there's a lot of people can get hurt. So while I was building this and talking to the township and trying to sell it, I was saying, hey, like, I'm going to do everything safe. I can't, but I didn't promise. I'm like, look, I'm not going to aim to stop gun violence. I can't do anything about that.
Right.
What I can do is make sure that people don't negligently shoot people or themselves.
Right.
So, and unfortunately, there's no way to track if that's working, right?
Right.
Because it's like, people only track when something bad happens. They're not like keeping track of, like, oh, hey, I almost did this, but luckily my finger was off the trigger and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
right.
It's one of those things where you don't really see it, but you know that as long as you're teaching people these safety rules, they're safely handling the firearm. You're doing the best you can.
Right.
So our goal was to create responsible gun owners, but give them an environment to where they feel comfortable to come and train. Because a lot of our clientele, a lot of our customers are first-time gun owners, right? They either don't have a gun or they bought one during the pandemic and they never learned how to use it. And when you ask them, like, why'd you wait? They're like, oh, it's intimidating. And you go to some of these ranges, they have like wood paneling all over and deer heads and stuff. And it's like, that may be cool for some people, some people might get intimidated by it. So our big thing was to make an uncomfortable environment for these people to come and train, and like not have that excuse of, oh, I felt uncomfortable.
Right.
That's why a large portion of our clientele are women. Like when we were walking through, there's actually a women's class going on in the one classroom.
Yeah.
We were really big on empowering women. You know, and the firearms is a great equalizer.
Yeah.
So they're a huge growing demographic right now is female shooters.
Yeah, and that shows a lot too, because you've got your the apparel section right there that's focused on women.
Yep.
You have the purses where for conceal and carry. You've got pouches for them. Everything is well thought out for women. I would assume that comes from the fact that your wife is a part of the business. And being that is an obvious demographic that doesn't get seen enough or doesn't get recognized enough that are into guns. It's very nice to see that you've put an emphasis around that too.
Yeah. The you know, it's funny. I joke with people. Like my wife absolutely influenced most of this stuff. I mean, because it was like a guy's gonna go shoot anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, like granted they like coming in here and smoking cigars and all that.
Yeah.
But women, they want certain things. They want softer colors, brighter here, brighter there. I'll tell you right now, the budget for the women's bathroom was almost 3 times as much as the men's bathroom.
Wow.
Because they have all the like it's supposed to be nice and welcoming. Because I remember my wife telling me, it's like businesses get judged on their bathrooms. You know, and it's like you know, because we met a guy who had a range and he was like, oh yeah, we focused on go look at the ladies' bathroom, like all proud of it.
Yeah.
And you walk in and there was like Home Depot tile, like glass tile around there with like a pot of flowers. And we're like, oh, good, dude. You go in ours, there's mirror, gold, brass, flowers, like nice design. And it's like, that's what makes them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, going to the scene that shows that we thought about them.
Yeah.
And I say we because, I mean, my wife, obviously, big part of it. You know, she had all these, you know, goals up here. And then, like, I was with the budget down here, so we kind of met halfway. You know, you got to bring it down to reality. Yeah. She had champagne taste on a beer budget.
That's pretty cool. So why do you think, as a veteran, why do you think it's important to support the veteran community?
Well, I mean, look, it's weird for me to say because I'm a veteran, but like a lot of these guys are messed up. A lot of veterans, like every veteran gave something. Yeah. They raised their hand, they volunteered during wartime. I mean, not even people who weren't wartime. Yeah. You raised your hand in a voluntary army. Yeah. Right? So our country owes you a bit of, you know, gratitude, you know, thanks. So I mean there's guys who take advantage of that stuff. Yeah. But for the most part it's like, hey, the veterans deserve to be remembered, treated, and appreciated for what they volunteered to do. But it's also like they're us. Yeah. You know, like we are them. They're bosses, business owners. Like when they came back, like especially the guardsmen, they were already working, you know, but after you get out of the military, look at Greencastle, you guys are all military. Yeah. I mean, you are us. Yeah. So it's like you're part of my community just as much. So it's while we like to thank and we call out thanks to military and the ones that have passed and all that, and give the ultimate sacrifice, you know, it's important to support us because like you're making your community better too. Yeah.
We at Greencastle we have this event called Vetfest, and you were a part of it last year, and you're going to be a part of it again this year. What is it about Vetfest that makes you want to come back again this year?
It's helping out veteran business. Like this might look like a big operation, but it's my wife and I, you know, some employees. Like it's a family-run business. Yeah. But it's important to help out. Like I met the PA boys, the guys who ran the barbecue.
Yeah, so good.
So good.
Yeah.
And I knew that when I have events here and they don't have a caterer, I'm like, well, look, I'm going to help out another veteran business that. Not just because they're veteran, because their food was good. Yeah. And it just it helps that they're a veteran. Right. But it's awesome to help out another veteran, you know, succeed. Yeah. And now we sell their barbecue sauce out like in our showroom.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, they've been back for I think 4 other events, but it's like helping others out. Yeah. And I like that it's open to the public and it's not just like veteran, you know, like because veteran communities, there's gonna be people that show up and just want to try free stuff and all, but it's like getting it out there to the public, like, hey, PA boys in Oxford,
Yeah.
really good food, try them out.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's good. Like, that's the one thing that we can do as veterans is support each other even after we're out of the military.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So just for our audience, how can they find you? How can they get involved with Mainline Armory?
So we're on, of course, the internet, mainlinearmory.com. Big thing is follow us on social media and Facebook. We were talking about, I think it was off camera, but the firearm industry, there's a, I don't want to call it like shadow banning, but they don't favor us. So the only way for us to grow is organically.
Yeah.
So they can follow us on the social media platforms. And we're also, LinkedIn, all the platforms. But I mean, if they want to come and check us out, we do in the lounge, we rent out the lounge for events.
Oh, wow, that's
corporate
nice.
events.
Yeah.
We've had a couple the past few months where banks have rented it out to impress their clients. It's fun, it's an experience.
Yeah.
But it's also, there's training here. So, we'll take anybody who never shot a gun to people who are pretty phenomenal shooters that just want to be competitive shooters now.
Right.
We have that training.
Yeah.
So, I mean, check our website has everything attached to it. We have a pretty in-depth website. Lists all our training, our calendar of events too.
Yeah.
Like we have Star Wars night,
Oh,
the Wild West night. We got Zombie night. Yeah, we have fun stuff. Simulators you could shoot, stuff like that. So check us out. We offer free tours if you book it. And we do offer veteran discount and first responder discounts as well.
Definitely, and definitely do a tour. The history here is amazing, and just the like I said before, the attention to detail is just phenomenal. It's just like not like any other armory or range that I've ever been to. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I was always a World War II buff.
Yeah.
But like the more I learn about the Revolutionary War and like I incorporate it into the business, it's an awesome war that's not taught like it used to. Like there's no documentaries about it anymore, all World War II, there's only video documentaries. So it's obviously not going to be one of the Revolutionary War, but it's an interesting war, and it's like the more you dig into it and our founding fathers and stuff like that, it's a really cool history, and we like to bring it in as much as we can.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Greg. Again, thank you so much for your time today. And again, follow, subscribe. Make sure you follow Mainline Armory on all their social media channels, and we'll see you in the next episode.